everyone, this is Courtney from Ruby Red Farm. Today I've got a bit of a mess on my hands. So it has been a little bit unseasonably warm here in East Central Indiana. We tend to get a bit of a temperature swing this time of year, but this year, unfortunately, it really went from pretty extremely cold to 55 degrees, and that is just the perfect recipe for mud. If you watched our last video, we weren't able to move the chickens, and that means they've been stuck here for about a month. We are desperately trying to get them to some fresh grass, but it is way too muddy to move them. We're gonna swing that netting around, get them some fresh grass to live on for a little bit, clean out their coop because it has gotten pretty damp in there from them tracking water in, and then refill all their feeders and make for some happy chickens. I've got my son helping me today if he can tear himself away from these kitty cats that he likes so much. And believe it or not, this is one of his favorite jobs to do. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. If you haven't yet, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. We appreciate you watching. Let's get this show on the road. We're a little leery to move them when it's muddy after this fiasco happened this past spring. So lessons learned, and we're just gonna leave the coops there for now. All right, let's go ahead and get these eggs out of here first. I want to make sure I don't accidentally break any of them. They've not been laying well, so there's not that many eggs to contend with. Baby, oh. What you doing, Gabe? Playing in the mud, he says. It is such a mess out here right now. Go ahead and grab whatever eggs are already in there, just get them out of the way. Alright, you go ahead and get these nesting boxes cleaned out first. So the forecast is calling actually for some pretty cold weather here in about a week. We really don't want the coop to be damp when it gets cold like that because that's the biggest contributor to frostbite on the chicken's comb and wattle. And so in general, we're gonna try to get this thing completely cleaned out and fresh before the cold weather hits, just to give them a better chance of having a healthy winter here. Quit playing in the mud. Gabe, you want to go up in there and start emptying the coop out? So we do a deep bedding method where we try to actually leave quite a bit of bedding in here. The idea is that it'll kind of compost and create some heat. And that worked really well until we got all this rain this past week. So the chickens just tracked in way too much water. Unfortunately, what that did is it turned that deep bedding method into just a sopping, soggy mess. I feel like this happens at least once a year. It just unfortunately happened really early in the season this year. So I've got to get everything out of there and get them some clean bedding. All right, I won't let it close on you. Gonna grab a shovel?
Can you grab the shovel?
Yep. As much out of there as you can. Pick it up. Walk towards me. Woo! Oh, it's slippery. Thank you.
What about the other one?
That's okay. Yoo-hoo! Big summer blowout.
What?
I finally bought myself a flat shovel solely for this purpose, and it is well worth the investment. Ah!
Can't get
Another thing to think about is with this coop being primarily wood components, we have to make sure to not let it be wet for too long or we can rot that wood. So obviously, it's very much in our best interest to keep this thing dry and cleaned out. And right now it's neither, so we got work to do. Tell the camera, does this smell good or bad? Bad? I thought it smelled really good in chicken coops.
No.
You're doing great, kiddo. As gross as it sounds, the chickens actually love teasing through everything I'm throwing out. They can find bugs and little bits of feed, but on top of that, it's just entertaining for them, so they get a big kick out of this. Not to be perfectly cleaned out, but I do want it to be mostly emptied and really all the wet stuff out so it can dry. I'll kind of leave this open to the air for a bit before I put the pine shavings back in. Okay, did you do all that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can we get the other thing out of the way?
Yeah.
I want to wait on it because there's a lot of it.
Sounds good, bud. See how it's gonna flip down? Watch your fingers. Whoa. There we go. Ah! Got All right, I'm gonna go get started on the other nesting boxes. You doing good?
Yeah.
You're doing great, buddy. Good work. Whoa! You okay?
Yeah.
Whew. This is pretty close to the worst it's ever been. Thankfully, it is pretty dry underneath, so it's coming up relatively easily. Hey, touch my foot. Doing a great job, kiddo. What are you doing?
I'm making the fall.
Ah! What are you doing? You're gonna sink like quicksand, buddy. Don't lose your boots. Go ask Daddy to get some pine shavings, please. Thanks. Buddy? Yeah, I see your boots. I think I'll go get pine shavings and let her do her thing. Well, she still didn't lay her egg. Oh well. Alright, that's about as cleaned out as it's gonna get. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some new pine shavings in here. We use hay sometimes throughout the year, but in the winter we probably 9 times out of 10 end up using the pine shavings just because they do absorb moisture a little bit better. And with the hay, it kind of is harder to remove it once it gets wet. And so with this, it was pretty easy actually to remove this batch. Thankfully, it was all pretty dry underneath. So believe it or not, that all came out relatively easily. So go ahead. Fill these back in. Get my chickens happy again. Chickens are really jumpy today. I can't tell if there's a hawk around or if it's just me being out here, but they're kind of skittish today for whatever reason. I think they are more on cloudy days, to be honest. I think the hawks can hide a little better. Oh, yep, when I look up, there is a bird up there. I think it's just a vulture, but to a chicken, it probably looks like something that wants to eat it. So they're a little more jumpy though on cloudy days because I think the predators can hide and attack them a little easier. So instinctively, they know to stay covered on these cloudier days. All right, just a couple inches in there. Doesn't have to be a lot. We'll add more right before the cold weather comes here in a week or two. But for now, that's perfectly good for laying eggs. I lost my helper. Neighbor boy came over and they're off playing somewhere, so I'll let him be. If he wants to come back, he can help me later. But for now, I'm gonna get the rest of this filled in and I got a whole nother coop to do. Okay. I don't think they like me being in here. Oh, it really does feel like spring. They can't figure out what season it wants to be this week. I keep hoping Brandon will appear and offer to help, but he's working on his own thing, so I don't think that's gonna happen. Ugh, I'm getting worn out. This stuff's heavy. Whew, just to give you an idea of where I'm at. Halfway done, took me about 20 minutes. And the stuff on the left, it's hard to tell, but it's almost 6 inches high in some spots. And then on the right, I've gotten that all the way stripped out. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep working here and get this one emptied. These nesting boxes are fine because I clean them out on a regular basis, but go ahead and get the rest of this taken care of. Oh. I got through most of the heavy stuff. It's kind of lightweight now, but my back is killing me. I'm just trying to get this finished. You can see though, it's really light and fluffy underneath that top layer, so I don't feel quite so bad. Alrighty, coops are done. Just gotta get everything put back where it belongs. And then gonna move the netting and see if Brandon can help me fill the feeders real quick. So making progress. Been at it about 2.5 hours by now, so whooped. Okay. That was graceful. Excuse me, ladies. Pretty good egg day for late December. Probably got about 4 dozen eggs so far, and it's only about 3 in the afternoon, so we won't collect any more today. We'll just get the rest of it tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a little bit of fresh oyster shell. They don't go through much of this, but it's nice for them to have it, and they do eat it. We don't force it on them, we just make sure they have access to it if they want to have it. Helps strengthen the eggshells. All right, moving on. Whew, I need to move some netting. All right, there isn't really a great way to do this, but we're gonna go ahead and do it during the day. Typically, they really like fresh grass, so once you give them an option, they'll go to it. I also brought out our compost bucket, so they'll have some scraps to lure them over here. But the plan is to basically swing this thing 90 degrees, try to get them off of the muddiest spots, and give them access just to our yard again. We don't really care about it being a yard, so we're gonna try to take up the netting, swing it around, and he's gonna come out and give me a hand because it's not that heavy of work, but it's a lot of work and it takes a long time by yourself. So see if he can help me. They like fresh grass.
Grab another bag or a bag of feed and spread out.
Yeah, that'll work. Trying to get them off of the worst of the wet spots. A lot of it looks worse than it is, but most of it's just as bad as it looks. So we're trying to salvage our poor hayfield. All right, we got them moved. It's actually going to make a big difference. We got them off the mud and then opened up over here. So they've got a lot of fresh grass that, again, it's technically our yard, but we don't care about that. And then we will get them moved as soon as it freezes. For right now, though, I'm going to go ahead and fill their feeders up, or at least grab a few bags of feed. Get them all set for a few days.
Have 4 or 5 more packets.
Up to you. They're probably fine. We're not going to keep them here very long, so probably is good for now. All right, that's enough work for one day for me. I've got happy chickens. Their feeders are full. They got fresh grass. I am absolutely whooped, and my back is killing me. So I go inside, cook up a chicken pot pie. Actually, gonna make a video out of that, and then honestly, just take it easy. We're kind of enjoying this slow week between Christmas and New Year's, and enjoying, really for us, the slowest time of year, but we really don't have a whole lot going on. As usual, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Courtney from Ruby Red Farm, and I hope you all have a great day.